Hey guys, welcome back to another Storytime video. On today's Storytime, I'm going to be talking about how my phone kind of broke a couple weeks ago. It's not like any physical damage, didn't crack my phone or anything like that, because as you can see, it still works all good and everything. The home button works, screen works, camera works and everything, so it's all good. No physical damage. Or maybe it was sort of on the inside. I'll tell you guys what the whole story is. This happened about 2 weekends ago. Today it is Friday, April 23rd. This happened between the 9th and the 11th of April. So let me explain. Let's start off with the story. So it was 2 Fridays ago, April 9th, around 10:30 p.m. I was watching some YouTube on my phone when I noticed that my cellular service was cut off. So as you can see right here, it tells me my carrier. It can't really, but you can see it says my carrier name. And you may be wondering, why am I on T-Mobile now? I'm about to, I'll explain that in a bit. But it does say the carrier, and it tells me like how many bars of signal I have. So right now I have 2 because I'm at home. And it would tell me, of course, that I'm connected to the internet. So like what it said for that Friday night, it kept saying searching, and all the little bars were just kind of going up and down like that. So I was like, interesting. And then I noticed that my phone actually started to act up. So basically, what happened was my phone was getting unresponsive. So I was on YouTube, and I was going to load eBay. So as you can see, loading eBay, it loads fine and everything, but back a few weeks ago, this wasn't the case. What happened was I loaded it, it was stuck on, I'll reopen it again. It was stuck on this screen with the eBay logo for about 30 seconds. The first time the app crashed, then the second time, as you can see how it's all kind of like black, it would just be stuck on a black screen with nothing loading, it'd be buffering. And I was like, okay, what the hell? So I closed the app and I just thought it was another glitch. Until then I went to settings and it was stuck on a black screen also, trying to load forever. And then even trying to go into a panel like this, like the internet or my Bluetooth or all that kind of thing, even in the cellular. Every time I clicked on one of these, it would just like hang for about 10 seconds before actually loading it. And scrolling down, like once I'd be scrolling down right here, it would freeze for about 5 seconds. And then even going into cellular right here, as you can see, it would just it shows all this menus and everything. Back then it would just like be all completely black for some reason. And even trying to scroll up the control center would make my phone freeze. And the cellular, you see how here where it says cellular, it's green and everything. Before it was just completely grayed out, and you know, trying to like hold on this would just freeze my phone completely, so I couldn't even view what it said here, but it was grayed out completely and it kept saying searching. So I restarted my phone and I was like, okay, sums up. So I restarted my phone thinking that would fix my problem, and it didn't. I was like, ah, great. And it was just for that night. So I was like, okay, I'm just hoping by Saturday morning, that would be April 10th, I hope everything would all be good. So I just put my phone to charge and I went to sleep. And I woke up pretty early the next morning, around 6:30 for some reason. Every weekend I'm waking up early now, but I woke up at around 6:30 a.m. the next morning. It was Saturday, April 10th. I checked my phone. It was still saying searching, and it was still so laggy. Even sometimes opening YouTube, it would be stuck on the, as you saw there, it would be stuck on that alone. Like it would be stuck on a black screen, and when it loaded everything, it would just take long. Like basically, I think just loading the app is what took so long, because when I opened it, it would say stuck on the YouTube logo for about 20 seconds. It didn't stay on the black screen for 20 seconds, but once the app loaded, everything was working fine, but YouTube took a while to load. Instagram also had the same issue. When I loaded Instagram, it would be stuck on that screen forever. It would be stuck there on that black screen forever, and sometimes the app wouldn't even load. It would just stay on a black screen and crash, or it'd take 2 minutes to load. Yes, it actually happened. And a bunch of other things weren't working either. What else wasn't working? Oh yeah, okay, so I'll talk about it later. But okay, so basically, at that point, I was getting frustrated. I was like, what's going on? And my service wasn't working either. I don't know what the hell happened. So it was around 8 a.m. that morning. I go on Apple support and I start talking to somebody from Apple. Actually, no, it was like 7:30 a.m. that I actually was chatting with an Apple specialist, and I was surprised they were up that early at 7 a.m. It was probably a little earlier over there where they're at like at 5 a.m. But yeah, I was like 7 over here, and basically what I did was I was talking to the guy from Apple support, and I was telling him, okay, so this is the problem. My phone started acting up last night, service got cut off, and now my phone is acting really, really slow. So we were on the chat for about an hour, from 7:30 to 8:30, and then I was talking to him, and he was giving me like a bunch of advice. So the first thing, like of course, the basic option would be to restart the phone, which I did already 5 times there. Didn't work. Then I told him, because the main thing what probably made my phone glitch was my cellular service cutting off. So what I ended up doing was I took out my SIM card out, I left it out for about a minute, and or actually about a little longer than that, about 5 minutes I left it out. And I took the SIM card out, I restarted the phone, and at first it said no SIM. I'm like, oh crap, did that work? But then it kept saying searching again without a SIM card, which is odd because that's not supposed to happen. And I told the guy that, but he says like it's normal for it to say searching, but I don't think it was, because it wouldn't be saying searching for 10 minutes. It would just say no SIM afterwards, and my phone wouldn't be glitching. So that's what happened. And then he just told me that the main problem could be a carrier issue, and so he told me to contact my carrier, and my carrier was Sprint. And you can probably see by the T-Mobile, you guys may be confused. I'll explain that in just a little bit, but yeah, my carrier was Sprint, so I had to talk to them. Unfortunately, it was like I said, it was 8:30 in the morning that morning, and the only way I could actually get into contact with Sprint is wait for my dad to get home from work, and he doesn't get home till very late. But it was a Saturday, so I wasn't even going to be home by the time he got here, because that same day, I got my COVID vaccine, the first dose. And I went to the place, and then I also started to realize, uh-oh, yeah, I forgot my phone's busted. I have no service there. But luckily, I went to my grandparents' house like about once after we got done with the vaccine and everything. But my phone was getting so laggy, and even I was trying to order a pizza. Okay, so I was ordering a pizza with, I was going to use the Little Caesars app. Even that froze too, because basically when I opened the app, it got stuck on that screen for a minute. Then the app crashed the first time, and so when I click on start new order, and I put my order and everything, when I was about to place the order, the app froze completely for about 3 minutes, and then it crashed. But luckily, I haven't actually, at that point, the order wasn't placed yet, so I was good. So I retried again, and at that point, I was like, okay. But it kept failing on me, so I just had to use my computer to actually do all of that. And yeah, so it was getting later towards the day. It was like 7 o'clock, and I was just like, oh, I wanted to slam my phone to the floor. You have no idea how frustrating it was. It was so slow. I couldn't do anything. I was losing my mind. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? Because I told my dad what happened. Because usually whenever something happens with my devices, I tell him, because he's more the tech expert than my mom. So like I figured, okay, maybe he knows what to do. You know, so at that point, I texted him that morning. I was like, phone's busted, my service isn't working, and I talked to someone from Apple, and they told us to call Sprint. So my dad was okay. So the thing was, I didn't know if it was actually a carrier problem or not. or if it was something with the phone, because if we couldn't fix the issue, then my dad was going to give me his old 8 Plus before he got his iPhone 11 Pro Max. And that one was a gold one, and it has way less memory. It has like 64 gigabytes. This one has like 256 gigabytes. And let's say that if he did end up giving me his old iPhone 8 Plus, that would probably be a problem with storage, because as you can see, yeah, I actually do use a lot of my space with like all the apps I have and just the data alone from the apps. So that would have been a big problem. And so it's like, I think 8:30 late. It's now 8:30 p.m. I get back home and I talk to my dad about what the heck happened with my phone. And then because it was already pretty late, and we couldn't call Sprint customer service because their customer service like line for the phone to call with them was already closed. So I ended up just chatting with a Sprint specialist through like an online chat, like how I did with the guy from Apple. And so I was talking with that guy for at least almost 2 hours, from about almost 8:50 to 10:50. It took really long to actually figure out what the problem was. So he gave me some other advice, and I just kind of told him like the basic information of my phone and like my SIM card and all that kind of thing. And so he was telling me that it was a SIM card error and that they'd end up sending me a replacement SIM card. But because, okay, so the first time I got Sprint, or when I activated my phone, was in October 2019. And Sprint and T-Mobile merged together in July 2020. And that is why my phone says T-Mobile here. Because since they merged, they were like, okay, we'll give you a T-Mobile SIM card instead. And so I was like, okay, maybe that can work. And we were talking about like, okay, if this doesn't work, then I don't know what else I'd do. I just talked to the guy from Apple and try. Another plan I had in mind was probably restoring my phone. But thankfully, I didn't have to do that. So let's continue on with the story. So it's already passed. Okay, so I'm done talking with the Sprint guy. It's like 10:50. And they said they sent me a replacement SIM card because it was most likely that was the problem with my phone and why it was acting up. But I still wondered, even if I took it out, why was it still acting up? It could have been because since the SIM card is linked to the phone and with the service already, it just kind of already moved all that glitchiness into the phone itself. So that sounded like a logical explanation, at least from what I thought. So it's 10:50 p.m. and I'm done talking to the guy from Sprint, and so I'm like, okay, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to deal with this laggy phone and be frustrated for the next couple days. And then it's the next morning. It's April 11th. I struggled to sleep that night because of the side effects of the vaccine. My arm was in so much pain, and this always happens every time I get a shot because it's either the needle aftermath or it could just be the vaccine. They just say it's the vaccine like kicking in and like doing its work. And I always thought it was probably like the needle, but that's like, yeah. But the side effects were kicking in and I struggled to sleep. I fell asleep around 12 a.m. Kept waking up at like 1:30, then 3:30, and then 4. And I eventually woke up at like 6:15 and I just didn't go to sleep again afterwards. And I stayed up. So then later past that morning, around like 8 a.m., I was like, okay, this phone is just starting to piss me off even more. Because I was like, okay, I'm not going to keep using this if it's going to be laggy while I wait for about freaking who knows how many days. The SIM card came in 4 days after it came in that Wednesday, but let me keep talking. So it was now 8 a.m. on the Sunday. I was starting to get more frustrated because the phone was acting up even more. So then I was like, okay, I'm just probably gonna, when my dad gets home, I'll ask him if I can, in the meantime, use his phone because there's no way I'm gonna be dealing with this crap for 3 more days. And then it's 10:30 a.m. and then I notice that it said Sprint on the top right again. And I swipe up the control center and everything was acting fast now. This is not working, but Everything was acting fast now. I swiped up. This was back. I opened my phone. I did the basics, even loaded everything, and it was all working perfect again. And I was like, what the hell? So I was so confused. So right when that happened, I'm like, oh crap. The thing started working. I don't know if it was just the SIM card acting up, and it just decided to start working on its own again, or if Sprint did something because I gave them the information of my SIM card and just the basic things they need to know about it. So either they were running a program on it, or they did something, and they fixed the issue. And I don't know what it was. But I'm probably thinking that the SIM card acted up on its own, and that it decided to start working again on its own, because they still ended up sending me the T-Mobile SIM card 3 days later. So it's after that, it's 3 days later. It's now Wednesday. It's like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and I'm playing on my Nintendo Switch. And then my dad comes in and says, hey, your SIM card came in. Oh, wait, no, it was way earlier. It was 6 p.m. that he told me. But I didn't open it until 9 p.m. because I was playing on my Nintendo Switch with my friend. We were playing Apex Legends, and so after I'm done playing with my Switch, I opened the SIM card and I put it in my phone, and then the SIM card was already activated with my number and everything. And so I was like, oh wow. So that's why I have a T-Mobile SIM card, because Sprint and T-Mobile merged now. They merged, and so that's basically why they gave me a SIM card like that. And I even looked up on Google, is T-Mobile better than Sprint? Or I just looked up T-Mobile versus Sprint, because Sprint sucks, I'll be honest. The signal sometimes is really bad, especially in like the woods. Even AT&T actually has like full signal over there in the woods sometimes, because I go to East Texas with my friends sometimes. I get no signal there at all, but he does on AT&T. So I Googled up T-Mobile versus Sprint, and then this is what it says here. T-Mobile data does more with its unlimited data. No competition when it comes to LTE data speeds. In other words, T-Mobile always wins with faster speed, more reliable coverage. And then after that, I'm like, but is it better than AT&T? So I looked up best carriers in the U.S. So it says AT&T. Well, this is not from. I don't think this is from like the top, like not from like the actual, like this wouldn't be number one. I don't think it's like in that way, because I looked up on, I think, was it this website, and okay, so these are the best value ones, but the best ones here, as you can see on number one, best phone carrier T-Mobile overall. So maybe I might be able to get much better signal in the woods over there where I go. So who knows? But maybe I've only had my T-Mobile SIM card for about a week, and I haven't really gone like anywhere where I would never get any signal. I'm usually in the places where I have all the signal, or most of the time I'm connected to the internet. But let's say like at school or on the road, I don't really notice a difference in speeds. Maybe it'll be once I go, like I said, into the woods sometimes, when I go to East Texas, because we have to pass by the woods, and there's like in small towns and there's no signal there sometimes, in a few small towns. So maybe there I'll notice a difference. But yeah, if it's still bad, then I guess my next phone I'll switch to AT&T or something. But they say it's number one, so I'm trusting them here that it actually will be good. But yeah, so that's the story time on what happened to my phone, how I fixed this problem, and what I had to go through. And it was a pain in the neck. It was so freaking frustrating. So this lasted for about a day and a half, from Friday, April 9th at 10:30 p.m. to Sunday, April 11th at 10:30 a.m. So it wasn't that long, thank God. But in that period still, it had me, I don't know, I was just so frustrated. And I didn't know what to do anymore. Even FaceTime couldn't work. And the problem was that the FaceTime and message bug also got linked to my MacBook. So basically, also loading messages on my phone would be really slow because, like I said before, it would get stuck on a black screen and it would just freeze completely. And like sometimes it crashed and then sometimes it loaded. FaceTime would not work at all. If I try to call somebody, it would just say like the FaceTime thingy and it'd just be stuck in there. And when they do, let's say someone answers their phone, it'd be a connecting, not do anything. It wouldn't even say FaceTime failed unless I click the end call button myself. And the problem went towards my MacBook too, because when I loaded, well, messages worked. It was just FaceTime that didn't work. Or actually, no. The Saturday morning, my messages were working, kind of. And then later on in the day, like 2 o'clock, the messages in FaceTime, when I tried to load them, it would not open at all. It would just say application unresponsive. So this freaking thing, the problem, linked it to my MacBook too. Luckily, it all got fixed right as soon as my phone started working again. So I guess they didn't need to send me that SIM card, or I don't know if they managed to fix something with it. I seriously don't even know. But that is one of the worst things I went through trying to use this phone. And I've had a lot of problems with my iPhone 6, at least like with its performance and a bunch of other things. But I think with this, I've had a bunch of random problems that you would never encounter. Back in December 2019, I was trying to connect my phone to my computer because I had to do something with it. And the charger kept saying on the Trust This iPhone screen, and my charger would keep unplugging from my MacBook. And that's the problem with with lightning cables and MacBooks. They never, they can never stay connected. They keep unplugging. I don't know what the problem is. But it was doing that, and it kept coming up with the Trust This iPhone message. And so I unplugged my phone, and it still kept popping up. I couldn't get rid of it. And I was trying to force restart my phone. But because this is one of the iPhones without the physical home buttons, you have to do it a different way by pushing it like this. But I struggle so much with that because it gives you a weird mechanism of trying to power it off. I don't know why. You have to hold this button first, then these, and then that never worked for me. I don't know why it does that. But yeah, I just tried doing that, and I tried doing it like so many times, and after the 6th attempt, I finally got it to shut off. So I've had a bunch of weird encounters with like a bunch of weird unexpected problems that I wouldn't expect with this phone. I don't know why, but I don't know. I guess you could say this phone has a bunch of many software problems, I guess. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Just a little story time of just a story time of how my phone broke in that way. And that week has been pretty bad luck for my Apple products. My wired earbuds also broke on Thursday because the button kept pressing itself. And I got so frustrated with it, I just ended up bending the thing and the connector broke because of my frustration. Literally every time, because I would use the wired earbuds more than my AirPods because of, I'll tell you why in a bit. But I used them more and because they were like louder and like the AirPods were really quiet. And so every time the button on the right earbud kept clicking, it would pause the video I'm watching, it would play music for no reason, activate Siri, and I don't know what to do. Kept making it, so I just bent the thing because of frustration, and it broke it. So I'm going to buy new ones too. Luckily, they're cheaper. They're $20 now. They're not $30 anymore. And basically, I used my wired earbuds more because my AirPods were quiet. And if you remember in my Mexico vlog, I did kind of actually mention that I bought an AirPods cleaner for $5. It was like a whole cleaning kit. And I poked a hole through my right AirPod, and it just kind of messed it up, made it way quieter. That even trying to fix it with an electric cleaner would probably not work, or just break the AirPod completely, because since there's a hole in it, water would get in, and it did get water damaged. Yeah, so that's why. And they were really quiet too, even before then. But what I ended up doing a few days ago, I actually swapped AirPods with my dad. I was like, I gotta think of something. And I found my dad's AirPods, and I'm like, well, he never uses this. I'll just swap these with him. And those were really dirty, full of dirt everywhere. So I actually did use that cleaning kit, and they came in good handy to actually clean all the dirt off, and even from the case and everything. So I think that would just be meant for physical damage, or like any physical, like if it's dirty physically, I think that's what that cleaning kit is meant for, not for actually making it louder, which that would be the CarePod, which is the electric cleaner that I'm going to save up for. I'm trying to find a part-time job, but let me see. Here it is. This, I've seen a bunch of ads on this everywhere on YouTube, and so I'm like, I'll try this and I'll buy it. And right now it's $49.95. So basically, these are compatible with the normal AirPods first gen and the wired and the Apple EarPods, which are the wired earbuds from Apple, which are the ones I'm gonna buy. So I guess they'll work for those too. So yeah, I'll just tell you right now, if you are trying to clean AirPods because they're quiet, use CarePod. Don't buy like any other cleaners, like the little cleaning kits that just come with Q-tips and all that. Those are just for like dirtiness that's like physical dirtiness, or yeah, not for anything internal like cleaning melted earwax from the inside to make them louder. These are kind of louder than my other AirPods, but they're still kind of quiet, so that's why I'm still gonna buy the cleaner. But yeah, this story time's getting pretty long, so I'm gonna end the video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little story time of what happened with my phone, and I guess towards the end made added an extra kind of stories of like why my Apple products are just kind of messing up, and I don't know what's been up, but yeah. Look, thank God this is working now, and yeah, because if there wasn't a carrier problem and I had to restore it, I mean, I did do a backup, thank goodness, but like it was kind of, I know it would take a really long time to actually get everything loaded completely because of how much stuff I have. So I'm like, oh, if I'm just glad I didn't restore it, because you know, I don't like restoring, like, since this has a lot of things, like, as long as I have a backup, I can back up all my data, it's fine, but it's just the process of getting everything back on it, because like, since you had so much data, once you set up the phone and then everything's installed on its own with its settings, because it's so much to actually, and then you have to check to make sure that the apps are all working and all their data is still there. So that's why I didn't want to restore and my phone, especially with this much stuff in it. But yeah, guys, so that's going to be it for this video for real now. So thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.